Warning, this podcast contains a sacrificial ritual.
And spoilers.
We're all gonna die. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast for the Vampire Diaries, Season 7, Episode 13, This Woman's Work. I'm your host, Dom. With me, my co-host, Kim.
Hi.
Hi. And my co-host, Mike.
Ha.
Hi.
Ha.
So, what'd you guys think of this episode?
Loved it.
Interesting.
Loved it? Like, give me a comparison. Would you love it like?
Cake. No.
You love it like you love cake? Wow. Huh.
That was the first thing that came to mind. I don't know.
The cake is a lie. So, what?
The cake is a lie. I was agreeing.
Oh, you look like you were going to interrupt me with a fact about how the cake wasn't a lie.
You're like, wait a minute.
This whole time the cake was real.
There is no cake around here for me to say is real. The only thing I have is chocolate.
I have an Oreo.
Well then. So, the big question that we had about Raina was whether or not the hunters that Jeremy was a part of had anything to do with her. We got our answer. Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got our answer. That answer is a big fat maybe.
Well, no, it's like it's not a maybe. They kind of are. I mean, they're not directly, but she knew about him. Her father was one.
Yeah, it was like a yes or a no. So, yes, she's tied to them, but yet she's different.
Right.
She's related to one.
Yeah,
Yes.
which doesn't mean she ever would have been one, anything, she had the potential, maybe. I don't really know how any of that works. It's not like a legacy. It's not like a hand-me-down family generation thing. It's just, when one hunter dies, it goes to another potential.
You're
Right.
chosen kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, she was trained. She was related to one. And all this other stuff. So, possible that she could have been tapped to become one if one died.
Could have been.
But, I mean, she got, I think, a better deal out of this.
Yeah, she killed her own father. She got the best deal.
Okay, no. Not that. I mean, in the end, she
It doesn't
got
even matter.
more power than one of those hunters would have had, I think.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Well, no, what made me wonder now, does she only have as many lives as the people that they sacrifice themselves?
Good question.
Or is it infinite?
That's what I was wondering, and my kind of headcanon answer is that every time she loses a life, it consumes one from her sword. So
Ooh.
the vampire lives that she's been stealing, though she's not becoming a vampire, but she's stealing their soul, their essence, whatever you want to call it. And I feel like as many as she kills is as many as she gets.
So technically, she could live on forever then.
Right?
As long as she
That's
keeps
it.
killing vampires.
If that's the case.
Because they said that her spirit, something was tethered to, like her essence was tethered to the sword. Like that's already been stated, so.
And those, the Native American shaman said, we give our lives so that you may have many.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be just she has as many lives as there were shaman that sacrificed themselves. It could be she just has infinite lives. She dies, she reincarnates. Or she could be drawing off the sword, like you said, Dom. That's actually a great theory, and I'm curious if that's going to come up.
I don't know. Because I instantly thought of that when Kim just said, does she only have as many lives as the shaman? That was my first thought. As soon as I watched them die, it's like, okay, there's 1, 2, 3. I'm trying to, tally it all out, and I'm like, Tristan was how old? Or Julian? Is it Tristan, Julian? I get confused because it's Julian.
Julian is the vampire.
Yeah, and then
that
originals. Yeah,
got her to sacrifice, kill her father, and thus then she was on her route to revenge. Which at first I was thinking, okay, so basically Stefan took her revenge from her.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why she was after him. But then, obviously, we come to see that he is marked. Like,
Right. Well, we knew he was marked because he, in one of the flashes, I think it was the one when Damon woke up, he said it's bleeding. She's nearby.
yeah.
So, that's the same kind of situation because we got to see more in the flashback of her trying to finish off Julian, which she never marked, but was, and then
She got Bo.
she got Bo instead, marked Bo, and we're like, oh, and they're like, okay, so he's not healing. So he was already a vampire at the time. I know originally we were speculating that he got that wound just before he became a vampire. That's not the case. So
He got the wound from Rhaena's sword, which apparently is permanent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vampire-wise.
Right,
So.
and it's not like it's a magical thing, because if it was, they could have sucked that out.
It was a legit wound that just wouldn't heal because it was caused by that sword, I'm guessing.
Magical, like a.
If it was magic, they'd be able to siphon it out, and he'd be able to talk, and it would be able to heal. So I don't really know what it is.
Well,
It's not.
We know
it's not that it's a magical wound. It's a legitimate wound. Like, my guess is that this sword prevents vampire magic because their healing, their accelerated healing, is magical. It prevents it from healing the wound. So they just get wounded as a normal person. Like, what would happen if you stabbed a normal person through the throat? Assuming they survived, they wouldn't be able to talk.
Assuming they survive is
That's the thing.
Depending where in the throat they were stabbed.
Right, exactly.
True.
So the assumption that they survived, they're going to be in Bo's situation. Nice scarred neck and no vocal cords.
See, because the shaman thing is some kind of magic of sorts, but I feel like it's different. It's clearly different because they weren't able to siphon, Bo's thing. So I feel like it's like mystic. Shamans are more mystical than magic. So I feel like that might be different than what the witches are doing. It seems like a completely different kind of energy that they're channeling, and so.
Well, I mean, it is. I don't know. It's weird because that thought process. Because even though I know when we see in the originals, the witches seem more in tune with like the world around them, especially in New Orleans. I mean, obviously that's like their hub, so it makes sense. But yeah, this is the first time that we really see magic. I think more in tune over here, and
either more powerful or
like
completely different than witch magic. Yeah.
I mean, if you go into a lot of pre-established, like, fantasy universes, I guess you could say. I mean, you can use D&D, or you can use, use Warcraft or anything, different practitioners of magic call upon different sources of magic. The Warcraft example, shaman call upon the elements and they call upon nature, whereas mages call upon the arcane, and like, warlocks call upon the void. So, like, these shaman are probably calling upon some mystical nature energy thing.
Yeah, that's when like that's why I meant like the energy of the world. I'm wondering if it's as Rhaena is immune to like magic. If so, would be her sword. So would be anything that's would be the same case. And anything that it is used upon would also be uneligible for magic.
Right. That's kind of what Nikki's saying in chat right now. She can't be with us tonight, but she's saying that if it were a magical wound, it cannot be siphoned because the wound was caused by the sword, which is tethered to Rhaena, who cannot be touched by any magic. So
it's likely the sword can't be touched by magic.
Yeah.
Which is handy because, I mean, how the heck do you get rid of them?
Now, I wonder if that's only if it's in Rhaena's possession. Like if Damon stabbed Stefan with the sword, is it going to affect Stefan, or is it only because Rhaena was holding it?
So in order to kill Rhaena, you have to destroy her and the sword at the same time?
Maybe you stab Rhaena with the sword.
That's what I was thinking. I was just thinking that too, that she would have to be killed by her own weapon. I mean, because we know that technically can be affected by magic itself, the sword, because the stone can. Because they can pull them out.
So if they put Rhaena's soul in the sword, it's no longer tethered to her?
They can't put her soul in the sword because she's not a vampire. It only affects vampires.
They could turn her
according to the shaman.
I wonder if they could turn her. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Nope, she's immune to magic. Can't touch her. Vampirism is a form of magic in this.
Yeah, I guess. Makes sense.
So I'll go. I like the stab her with her own sword theory,
Yeah.
regardless of whether she's still technically a human, even though she can be reincarnated and stuff like that. So
Is she tethered to the sword, or is the sword tethered to her?
both. I think I don't remember exactly what the shaman said.
Because if the sword is tethered to her, then they would have to kill her. If she's tethered to the sword, they would have to destroy the sword.
That's why I said both. Destroy
they're
the sword
definitely-
and her
they're-
at the
yeah, I
same
think they
time.
have to go together. I think they're gonna have to stab her. In my brain, I'm thinking, the same, like the daggers from with the originals. Like stab her with your own sword, and then like
Throw in a
bury her
trash
somewhere.
compactor.
Oh no, I was gonna say stab her with her own sword and throw her in a volcano.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mount Doom.
Now, does she need her body to resurrect? Like, because
All
we saw Enzo
speculation.
take the body, right? And then she
she
wakes
burned.
up in the cell. And she, like, breaks her own fist trying to get out of it. That was a bloody mess. And then she just got a running start and went through probably what was equivalent to, like, 5 or 6 panes of double glass.
Which also leads you to believe that, see, the fact that she did that and got through that glass makes me think she's super strong, right?
Well, they said she is, yeah.
Yeah. Yet, meanwhile, the couple of times we've seen her take on a vampire, she kind of gets her ass kicked.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she was knocked out, what, twice? 3 times that we saw this episode?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, really super... okay, she's super strong, but I'm guessing she's not super fast.
Yeah.
A vampire
I mean,
gets the jump on her. The vampire gets the jump on her.
Yep.
Well, yeah, it could still be the case that maybe she's just as strong as a vampire, but not stronger. So maybe needs still. That I mean, yeah, that they could be a possibility that it's not an easy task still, even though she is not the normal human, so it isn't a walk in the park for a vampire to just kick her face in.
Okay.
But
And what was up with the whole thing with Enzo wanting her sword in the first place? Like, was he being blackmailed by her? Because he didn't seem very tied up at the point when he was asking for it.
last time we saw him, all we know is that he was involved with. Well, they captured him. Was the secret group that's
Right, but I mean,
taking
when he was on the
vampires
phone
and
with Damon, like when he told Damon to come down, he didn't look very tied up to me.
I think she had him then. I don't know how, but I think she had him then.
But my question is, who was Enzo taken by? Because he threw Reina in there, set her on fire, resurrected her in that cell, and then he said, "All right, we're gonna have to sedate her to get her." Like, obviously they wanted to move her and keep her captive, and she broke out and fucked that all up. So the plan wasn't to resurrect Reina and release her. Obviously, the plan wasn't that. But
So, yeah, it is a good question. What they
they
wanted.
didn't.
To do.
I don't think they expected her to be able to break out of that glass.
They want to put her in like a supernatural zoo. It's feeding time. Just toss a vampire in the cell with her, like.
I have no idea.
See, that's the wild card, the weird thing going on in right now. That like there's no. I mean, first we had Enzo disappearing because they took him, and we don't even know who this group is. And this group is like reappeared off and on, and it's like in small little spurts with no names, no faces, hardly, just nothing, just random people.
Well, Damon definitely didn't enjoy being blackmailed by him either.
Oh,
you know.
no.
So,
No.
but at no point did I fear Enzo was in any kind of danger, because the flash forwards kind of ruined that for us.
Yeah.
Flash forwards have ruined a lot.
Like, I really enjoy the flash forwards, but when you have something like you're putting Enzo in danger of Damon, who literally has lost everything, and he's putting this coin to heads or tails chance of whether or not he's going to kill Enzo, I'm like, it's going to land on tails. You know, like, Enzo's going to be alive.
But now we know. But now we know what happened. So we know that they did the switcheroo on him. That he didn't kill Elena.
Yep. I don't remember if it was I that called that or somebody else, but
I think we
you
were
did.
all confident that he didn't kill Elena.
Well,
well, yeah,
we were pretty
that,
confident.
but I don't remember which one of us now said
I thought
that.
it was you who called.
I remember coming up with the theory of Tyler having decoys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I think it was maybe a little bit of combination of all of us had a little piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. Yeah. I was the one that said that Elena's casket couldn't be destroyed because it was magically sealed. So.
We were talking about all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Damon kind of went back to season 1. Damon, like, what was it? Last episode, he's lying down in the middle of the street like he did in episode 1. This one was like, I want to say episode 4, episode 5, when he's dancing around with Matt Donovan's Vicky, in her underwear, around the thing. Very reminiscent of that. Mm-hmm. When they played that song. It was a Depeche Mode cover by the band was Anne Berlin. Enjoy the Silence back in season 1, and I'm pretty sure that they actually played a Depeche Mode song during this dancing scene. So it's kind of funny, the parallels.
I have to go back and watch it.
Yeah.
So Damon likes sex, bourbon, and Depeche Mode.
Apparently.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
So when Bonnie came in, Damon just like scrambled, get the fuck out of here kind of thing. And Bonnie was just like, we need you to do this. I was completely caught off guard with that.
Yeah? I didn't see that coming. Okay.
You didn't? Yeah, I didn't, because they made a big deal about him living. That to continue on, even though she's gone, technically.
Live your life. Okay.
And Bonnie, I mean, she's the best friend type. She is his best friend. So you're gonna have that I know we're both best friends from both sides there, but right now Elena's gone. And Elena said, live your life. Continue on without me.
Yeah.
So
and it's probably a really good thing that Damon didn't tell Bonnie, due to the fact that she's still alive, and if he did spill the beans, things could have gotten really messy between the two of them.
Bit messier.
Since their friendship was a little on rocks this episode, but at the same time it wasn't. Not to mention, Damon proved himself and she said it. You didn't even think twice. You immediately chose her over the sword.
Well, yeah, but Bonnie even said, like, without me, Alar's moving to Texas. With Alar gone, I'm your only friend left. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not like he gets along with Caroline.
At all.
At all.
At all.
I don't think she can even stand his presence, usually.
Half the time.
Half the time.
She's dealing with her own problems. And she's probably, well, not probably, we know she's going to be moving to Texas with Rick, so there won't even be time for that. But babies were born.
Well,
complications, but babies were born.
Yeah.
Attempted C-section turns into scalpel getting flung across the room.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Babies,
the babies, they're in a nice, warm, magic-rich environment for them to siphon. Why would they want to leave?
I don't understand how they're self-aware enough to know that was going to get them out.
This series has a lot of fun giving, special powers to unborn children.
Yeah.
I mean, let's look back at Hope, Haley's kid, who did all kinds of fuckery when she was still unborn.
Yeah.
Same deal here.
Yeah.
Slightly different.
I don't know how the babies know that the scalpel... external forces going on outside that they don't know anything about. The scalpel is what's going to free them from this magic cell. Like, they don't know what that's doing, so I don't...
They don't know the difference.
They've never been born before. They don't know that a C-section means they're coming out.
They don't know the difference between their pinky fingernail and their kneecap.
I think what it was an attack on their food source.
Their attack on their own food source. They're draining Caroline.
Well, yeah, but I don't think they understand that.
But they understand the C-section. Just don't even get me started.
They can't understand. Yeah, they're attacking their own food source, which is Caroline. They can't understand that, but they can understand the concept of a C-section.
TV show mechanics. You leave it alone.
Oh God.
Just trying to be consistent.
Now, how come having 5 heretics in there wasn't enough, but you get Bonnie in the room and that's enough to get them out? I don't understand.
I think the 5 heretics would have been enough if they stuck around long enough, because there didn't seem to be any complications with them in the room. It's just that Bo started bleeding from an old throat wound.
Yeah, that got interrupted pretty quickly.
I mean, it's a great way to put your target, I guess you could say, in fear and everything, but it's also kind of shitty because now they know you're coming. Like, in Bo's case, he's just standing there chanting, silently. All of a sudden, the old wound opens up. It's like, oh shit, rain is coming. Like, you're warning him. You're giving him chance to prepare. I mean, yes, you're some semi-invincible vampire hunting, shaman imbued crazy lady. What if they know a way to kill you? Right. You are now giving him a warning that you're coming. Oh, my wound's opening. Here she comes. All right, let's prepare this crazy weapon. Oh, there she is. Bam, Rain is dead.
Yeah. Poor Bo.
Poor Bo. Rest in peace. You know what's funny? Bo was my favorite of all the heretics.
Yeah.
Probably because he never opened his fucking mouth.
Well, it was more of like the mystery and everything, because you're always going to enjoy a character that has good mystery. Like, look at Metal Gear Solid 2, for example. Everybody fucking loved Raiden, the ninja guy, whatever, the ninja going around. Was it Metal Gear Solid? No, Metal Gear Solid 1, right? The ninja.
The cyber ninja.
Yeah.
Wasn't Raiden, but the cyber ninja.
Well, I thought it was Raiden. Whatever. And everybody's like, what? Who is this? Like, they loved him because he's a mystery, And it's just like any character that comes in with like mysterious circumstances. Bo, like, he's a vampire. He's a heretic, magic, whatever. And he doesn't talk. He's got this wound. What happened? Where'd it come from? We know he can sing. Like, we've heard the record.
He used to be an opera singer.
Yeah, so it's like, what's his story? So it's like everybody else is just boring and bland and average. He stands out. So he of course is the one you gravitate to. And
he had so much emotion without like just his face and things, and like when he was thinking, you could just literally see the gears working in his eyes. And I always thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I guess gives the actor more reign to focus on, their physical acting if they don't have to say a word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like they gave him, grunting as lines.
No, I see. I feel that it's more complicated. That he had a harder part to play when you can't act with words. It's gonna be all face gestures and you have to portray it in your mind for it to be portrayed through your eyes, and your face, and your emotions, and your body movements, and your everything.
Yeah. But the babies were born.
Babies
were
born.
And a lark named one of them after Joe.
Of course.
Named the other one after Caroline's mother.
Now the Joe naming I did see coming.
Right.
Like, yeah, mile away.
And it wasn't. What was Joe's full name?
I forget Joe's actual name. Was it Josie? I don't think it was Josie.
No, it was Josephine, I think.
Josephine.
No,
yeah.
Was it Josephine?
I think. I don't know. Now we're gonna look at it.
I'm gonna look, but
I was not as surprised by Caroline's mom's name. Like when we put the first baby in
Josette.
Okay, Josette. So she named her Josie.
Yep.
Yeah. So after he's like, well, he named the first baby, I went, well, you gotta continue to grow the connection between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
If they're gonna end up eventually where we know they're gonna end up, which is at least engaged, and she's been more and more attached to the baby, and the moment that baby was in her arms, it was that instant. That's it. She's attached.
Yeah,
So,
I named it Josie after Joe, and I named it Elizabeth after your mom. It's like that look on Caroline's face was like, "Marry me now."
It was
Pretty
definitely an aw moment.
It was definitely a push in the "marry me now" direction.
And I don't even know if that's what Alaric was heading for. It was more of a thank you for doing this kind of thing.
And
Yeah.
like I remember, what was this, like 6, maybe even 8 episodes ago when we were first getting the flash forwards, shows Caroline, and then, Stefan calls Tyler. This isn't the flash forward. Calls Tyler, like, I figure, I'm looking for Caroline. It's like, you're the one who knows where she is. So I assumed that Tyler and Caroline got back together.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, that's still a possibility. She could have moved to Houston just to be near the kids. It doesn't mean that her and Alaric are married, unless there's something I missed in one of these flash forwards.
They said they called him fiance.
Oh, okay.
It's an absolute. It's those two are together.
Yeah.
What leads them that direction is a whole other thing.
Okay. Done.
And then the very end of the episode, we see a 3-year flash forward.
Which is what we've always been seeing, 3 years.
I thought it was 5 at the start.
No, it's 3.
3, and we
Always
find out
been
how they're tying the originals into the Vampire Diaries.
Yeah,
well,
I mean, it has me excited, it has me worried, because we see Caroline in the car, and she says that they're going to New Orleans to see a friend. We could be under the assumption that that's Klaus.
I mean, that's the thing they want you to assume, because the only, real friend Caroline has in, New Orleans right now is Klaus. So unless someone else in the 3-year interim moved there, of course we're assuming it's Klaus. That's what they want us to assume.
Well, it's not Stefan. It's not Damon. It's
Right.
not Bonnie. It's not Enzo. It's not Alaric.
I know. So they want us
not
to
Matt.
assume. Yes, they want us to assume it's Klaus, and that also spoils the originals because now we know Klaus is going to be alive in 3 years. So, I mean, of course, they can't kill off Klaus and expect the originals to continue as a series, but it could be someone else, is what I'm getting at.
It could be, but right now I'm really...
You say this, now you see how they're going to tie originals into the Vampire Diaries. Well, you might not have read the synopsis for next episode.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that the next episode is when we see that particular scene.
True. No, we're not going to see that particular scene, I don't think.
No.
So.
We could. Probably not.
I don't know. I'm thinking that maybe it's more along the lines of Haley than, it is Klaus.
Maybe.
It could be possible.
So.
Were Caroline and Haley really ever close?
No.
No, but it doesn't mean in the next 3 years they haven't. I mean,
But
they all have magical kids.
It's the same way when you have a kid and everybody is uncle this or uncle that, this is mommy's friend, it's just, this is mommy's kind of acquaintance that we met one. It's just, it's easier to just say mommy's friend. So.
Yeah.
Next week's episode is called Moonlight on the Bayou. And an exciting crossover with the originals. In order to lure a vengeful vampire hunter named Raina Cruz away from his friends in Mystic Falls, Stefan heads to New Orleans, where Valerie has learned of a safe house that can protect him. Once there, he comes face to face with Klaus Michelson, who soon becomes suspicious of his old friend's unexpected arrival in his city. Meanwhile, Enzo, who is working on behalf of a mysterious organization called the Armory,
name drop,
approaches Damon and Bonnie with a plan that could protect Stefan from Raina. Finally, after learning that Alaric has decided to leave for Dallas with the twins, immediately Caroline offers to accompany them on the trip and finds herself contemplating her own future in Mystic Falls. Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
So, yeah. We will be seeing Klaus.
Yeah. He's in the promo if you watched the TV spot for it.
I saw it. I'm excited.
So am I.
I just want to know, how many characters we're gonna see, who we're gonna see. We're gonna see Hope at like 3 years old, and
I mean,
it's like
that's a good one. I mean, we're getting the crossover, and I'm not positive. I think the originals might be crossing over with Vampire Diaries as well next week.
mm-hmm.
I think they might be doing a character swap or
Right.
something.
See, I know you guys said that the flash forwards are always 3 years in the future, but I could have sworn the very first one we saw with Damon overlooking the clock tower, it said 5 years later.
No, it was 3.
There's 3. It's always been 3.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
Oh, the one with him standing on the clock tower overlooking the ruins of Mystic Falls?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was 1 year later.
Was
because
it?
that happened at the beginning of this season.
Okay.
Like, that wasn't,
Oh, yeah,
that wasn't the flash forward. That was our current season time.
Yeah.
Well, it was a flash forward at the time.
At the time, it was a flash forward, but it wasn't as big.
Yeah, I don't remember. Well, anything else before we wrap this up?
I agree with Nikki in chat saying, let Mystic Falls burn to the ground. Be done with that town.
Well...
Hold on. I'm getting... she has an opinion. Go on. The very first flash forward was 5 years, I'm told. Which flash forward was that?
The one where Damon is in his casket. And Stefan's retrieving him. That was 5 years in the future.
The one where Damon was in the casket and Stefan was retrieving him, saying his wound was open. Apparently, that was 5 years.
Okay.
All right.
I could have sworn there was a 5-year one.
Well, you were right,
point.
apparently.
Yeah. So,
Too many time jumps. This isn't Doctor Who. This is Vampire Diaries. Stop fucking with my head.
Whatever. There's been a lot of talk that this is, in fact, the last season of Vampire Diaries. Apparently, Ian Somerhalder is very worried on the current state of the show. Julie has said as long as the two actors, Paul Wesley and Ian Somerhalder, are willing to continue going, she's good to go as long as they're good. There's a lot of talk that Ian is really ready to start his family, and his wife or fiance or whatever she is now,
Wife,
Nikki Reed, that she still wants to fully pursue her career. So Ian would probably have to stay home with the kid a little bit. They've been talking. I don't know. This is what I've just recently read. So.
Well, I heard they're butting heads a little bit in this.
Yeah, well, there's some of that too. A lot of that has to do with having children in the first place. So there's a possibility that this is the last season. I don't think it's going to be. I think we would have had that announcement already as a show as big as this. So if it is going to wrap up soon, I think we're going to get one more season out of it.
I mean, with this being the halfway point, past the halfway point, I think they would have announced it already.
Yeah.
But, I mean, who knows? They could next week be like, oh yeah, this, was going to be the end of Vampire Diaries this season.
Yeah.
No more.
I don't think that's going to be the case.
I don't think so either. I really think they'd give us a more heads up than that.
Yeah, to fully wrap up everything that's going on, I think they're going to need a full season or one of those TV movies. So
we don't get those often.
We don't, but usually when a show is rushed, they'll put the strings in play now and then wrap them up in the TV movie. So who knows?
You can do what Star Trek Deep Space Nine did. The last 10 episodes of the series are just one gigantic friggin' episode.
Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see. That about wraps up our show. Kim, where can people find you?
On the Twitters at HUFFITY,
Excellent. Mike, where can the people find you?
Twitter at Thilladren, THILLADREN, no fancy song and dance.
So, is the double L like a llama?
Sure.
Llama.
Llama.
You can find me down below at Phenomedom, PHENOMEDOM. You can also find us on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, MySpace, and right here on YouTube at /ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, movies, and games. Till next week. We'll see you guys in New Orleans.
Yeah.